right, what is going on today, chat? It is a big day. The PSA Return Day. It's taken me a lot of willpower, chat, to not look through these and not cheat. So, welcome in. Betty, I'm here. Good, good, good. I know you said you're about to take a nap, so appreciate you hanging out. Because normally if I were expecting to come home and take a nap, well, I would prioritize that, so I appreciate you being around. So welcome in, guys. I'm just getting the last final touches here before we reveal. And additionally, with this PSA submission, we also have what I predicted. So you guys will probably see most of these on the cleaning streams in the past, so that'll be pretty cool to see what we get there. Poke, what's going on, my friend? Let me just get my, just in case if we need it, I'm gonna get my microscope here, just in case if there's anything that we need to take a look at more in depth. So we are just gonna get right into it. So welcome, guys. We're not going to be stalling any more than we are. So this is a PSA return that we got. It was one of the bigger submissions, so I submitted 2 cards. One of them being a small 14 submission, and another one which will hopefully be in my possession soon. They just started grading it. It is around a 71 card submission. So we are going to go through, and I have a list. So one of the things, hopefully I don't dox myself, is that some of these, I don't know all of them will be, but just for example, on my phone here, so these were all the scans that I took of these pictures. So for example, I can't remember if the Dark Duck Trio is in here, but I assessed what I thought it was going to get as a PSA grade. So I don't know if you can see it, but just in case, I assessed this Dark Duck Trio as an 8, so we'll see what they actually come back as. So we're going to be doing that for all the cards that we got. Again, this is kind of to measure our accuracy and continue on improving and going down that route. So this is a PSA return submission, Mike. So these were cards that I've cleaned on stream, that I've assessed on stream, and now we're actually seeing what they were. So we're just getting things prepared here. I got like a brand new setup. You can kind of see I got a little bit of some lighting in the background now, which is kind of cool. Trying to improve the stream. Seems like there's something new that I'm adding every day. So I'm just adjusting the light because it's a little bit washed out. So just give me 1 second. There we go. Gotta adjust the lighting just a tad. All right. So first up, and I don't know, again, I haven't looked at any of these. I have to find a business card. Let's see. There we go. All right, so we're just going to get right after it, chat. This is a special stream, yes. All right, so I'm going to set these off to the side here, and I'm just going to pull them off. So I have gloves. I'm going to be wearing gloves today because what I like to do is the moment I take a card out of the PSA return, I'll put them in these sleeves right here. So they're just tight fit sleeves. So the moment they leave the PSA box, they go immediately into a sleeve. So we will check out the first one. So first up is the Dark Blastoise. So this one, back in my notes, so this one was actually a video that I did not too long ago for the first edition Dark Blastoise. So we cleaned this on stream. So for those of you who want to watch what that was like, my video was in the past, probably in the beginning of January, I think I released it. So this one, if I remember correctly, this one had some issues on the corners a little bit, but the surface all in all was flawless. So we had a little bit of some whitening on that top right corner, and I believe there was something in the bottom right as well. So this one, I believe judging by my notes, it was an 8 to a 9 with the hope of a 9. So my guess is that it's probably going to be, if we're going to be more conservative, would probably be a PSA 8 based off of that. Again, if you want to look at the full in-depth review, was going to be probably an 8. So first edition Dark Blastoise from Team Rocket in 3. Let me see if I am in frame here. So 3, 2, 1. And it was an 8. So the near mint 8 on the Dark Blastoise, an incredibly clean card, all things considered. So again, we're kind of thinking around 8 to a 9. So my guess is, if I kind of look back at some of those points that I made on the video, my guess is that that's most likely in that 8 category versus a 9. So again, that's why I always say that if you are going to look at your cards before submission, always try to guess what you think they're going to be before you send them in. Because this is what will kind of help you as you kind of progress and get a little bit better at grading. So I would say, you know, 8 to a 9. Ended up getting the 8 on that one because I was kind of in the middle after I looked back at my initial review. But I think my end was a hopeful 9. But other than that, pretty good card nonetheless. So we'll put that, we'll even put that right in the microscope there. Even turn that on just a little bit. Beautiful. All right, next up. Guess myself? Nah, put them in the Discord so we all can guess, right? Yeah, that'd be a lot of work, to be quite honest with you. All right, so the next up is the first edition Dark Hypno. And so this one I assessed as, let's see. So this one is kind of funny because I had 2 Dark Hypnos that I had in the submission. So I have to figure out, based off of the holo pattern, which one this was. So I had 2 of them. So this one, I believe, was assessed as, let's see. I gotta find one marker. So let's see. Let's check one of the eyes. Yeah, so this one was assessed as a 9. So this one was assessed at a 9. I think, and especially with the new centering of that 55-45, it is a little bit thicker on that right side than it is on the left. But aside from that, it was in pretty good shape from what I could tell. A little bit of whitening there on the top left as well. So thinking most likely it's probably going to be a 9. So let's see with the Dark Hypno first edition. A lot of these were first editions, so these were pretty good. So we'll see in 3, 2, 1, and the Mint 9. Mint 9 on the first edition Dark Hypno. A lot of swirls in this one too. I believe there's a swirl in the bottom left as well as a swirl, if I saw it. I think it was above his head, if I can see it, but maybe not. I thought there was. Or by his hand. Right by his knuckle. There's a bit of a, I don't know if you guys can see it, there's a little bit of a swirl on that knuckle. So 9 for vintage, I will take that all day. Pretty much anything above a 8 for vintage, in my opinion, is really good. You know, we have to remember that these cards, some of these are at least 20 to 25 years old, so anything up in that range. Normally, I'll submit cards if I think they have a possibility of an 8 or higher in terms of vintage. So normally that's when I will submit. And we're going to have the fun experience of having everything stick to my hands. So how long do these take to grade? They arrived December 16th, and I just got them back today. So roughly 3 months. So let's see. I'm really trying hard not to. All right, Dark Raichu. So this one. So the first, again, I think I have 2 of these in this submission. So a nice little swirl underneath the Pikachu there. So the big swirl that we have to look for is that big one by his foot. So let's see. So this one, I had assessed as a PSA 9. So again, really what I'm kind of looking at on the side here, just again for context on what I'm looking at. So these were the scans that I had of the cards before I sent them in. And so I don't know if you guys can see that on stream or not, but I have a little bit of a sticky note 9 there just to remember. So that big circle by the foot there is the one that we're looking at in person. So this one was assessed as a 9. So let's see. So again, the front surface looks really good. I think a little bit of some centering on the front. Probably what would be holding it back, but we shall see. So the front was good. And then the back, I think really was pretty good. The only thing that I think was stuck on there from the printing or from the grading are these two little dots there on the card itself. And I don't know. And again, this is why I never like to have these cards in grade review in the slab. It's really hard to determine whether or not it's on the slab or on the case. But I have, what I'm looking at is that little guy right there and that one right there. It's a bit tough to see because of the slab, but I definitely would have removed those. And let me see. And actually, so not to get sidetracked too much here, but I have a scan. For example, that is right above the O. So that is not present on this scan in that blue section. So, I don't know, PSA. Getting dirty over there. But anyway, are you grading graded cards? No, this is a grade review. These are all cards that have gone through the cleaning process. And I just got the submission back in today. So, and in addition, I'm kind of going over some of my predictions that I had beforehand and then seeing, you know, how accurate. This is kind of this is the test, right? This is the test of me keeping track of what I think these cards are going to get. And then this is exactly what I tell you guys during grade review, card cleaning. This is how I measure my accuracy. And you're pretty much seeing it right now. So this one was assessed as a PSA 9. So Dark Raichu, first edition Team Rocket. Let's see if we get the 9 in 3, 2, 1. And we did. We got the PSA 9 on the Dark Raichu. Very, very nice card. Probably one of my favorites from the Team Rocket set, to be quite honest with you. I got a PSA submission back in January, and all the slabs came back with specs. Guessing the glue. It's definitely something, Rain, for sure. Because I like I just said, I had a few specs on the back. Because I actually scanned all these cards that you're seeing. I scanned prior to them being submitted. Well, at least for some of these, not all of them, because some of them were for someone else. So I had to make sure that I scanned those. But for some, there's probably 2 or 3 for my personal that I just didn't end up scanning because I didn't really need to. But I did still do a prediction of what I thought they would get. But yeah, when I look back at the scan, there's some specs that are on the card now that were not there when I sent it out. So who knows? How can we send you cards for evaluation, cleaning, and stuff? Yeah, so I would say the easiest way, my friend, would probably be to head over to either the Discord, which is the link tree in my bio. It's probably the easiest way, and you can kind of reach out to me or the mods or anyone else. We'd be more than happy to help you out, point you in the right direction, stuff like that. So, all right, so next up, if I can get this bit of fuzz off me. I'm telling you, these static strips here. So we got the first Ed Dark Dragonite. So we have 2 of these in this submission. So again, all these I think we reviewed. So this one I believe, let's see. So this one, so the big one that we're looking for is probably going to be the 2 circles by his leg there. So just give me 1 second here. So not that one, but this one. So this is what we said. So this one, I believe, is this the one? This one was the one assessed as a 9. We'll see if we actually get it. So this was the one that we scanned and cleaned. So that was the scan. And then that one is what it is in person. So we'll see if we get that 9. But who knows? We will see. So the first edition, Team Rocket Dark Dragonite. See if we get the 9 in 3, 2, 1. Got the PSA 8. Got the PSA 8, so there's probably some... I would imagine, if I remember the video, because I looked at the Dark Dragonite and the Dark Blastoise, and my guess was, I think I reviewed that there's these 2 print lines, and I'll actually see if I can... Again, it's going to be pretty tough because they are in slabs already, so it's going to be pretty tough to kind of show, but right by the foot here, I'm trying to see if I can... There we go. So you kind of see by the feet here, is most likely where some of that 8 is coming into play here. So those print lines going across is probably taking us back with some other issues, most likely. Probably a little bit of the whitening there on the top left, and if I put it under the microscope again, so you can see here, a little bit of whitening on that top left-hand corner. And additionally, let's see if there's anything else. We can kind of just take a quick peek. There's probably some more scratches, would be my guess, on the hollow specifically. But this right here is on the slab, which is unfortunate, but it's really just those scratches in the bottom left-hand corner. And let's see. I'm just kind of doing some quick light tests. Probably a little bit of curling on maybe up there, but that's more of like what it looks to be like a pack fold. But you can kind of see I'm kind of shimmering it a little bit, but at the end of the day, 8's still pretty good. So that's the first one. We have to dock some points there from my 9 accuracy. You know, I'm not just blowing smoke up your behinds, you know, trying to be as honest and truthful as I can. And again, at the end of the day, I'm still learning from this stuff too. So it's not 100%, right? So what do you recommend to get spots of a card that you can tell are definitely something on the surface? I normally use just distilled water. This is normally what I use. And I appreciate you guys being around for the PSA reveal. So again, all these cards that you're seeing on stream have gone through the cleaning process. So super, super nice. And I'm trying to see if this one was... What was this one? I think this one was the 8 prediction. I'm just looking through my notes here and making sure. So I'm looking for another... I'm looking at these Dragonite's feet like crazy. Because again, so there's a little dot underneath the 2. So it's this one. So this was the scan of the initial card that we're looking at right now. You can kind of see it matches with that hollow right there. So this one was assessed as an 8 for this Dark Dragonite. So let's see. So Dark Dragonite. I think this one, yeah, this one was the one with actual, like some more notable print lines. Like once I put this in a sleeve, I'll put it under the microscope. But this one had more notable print lines across the front. Unlike the one that I assessed as a 9, this will kind of be a good comparison. That these ones are a little bit more milder on this PSA 8. So this one was a little bit more noticeable when we were looking at it under the microscope. So this one, I think, was the PSA 8 prediction. So we shall see. So the second Dark Dragonite first edition from Team Rocket. We'll see if it's the PSA 8 in 3, 2, 1. And it was. So the Near Mint 8. So, like I said, these scratches that are kind of coming up, they're a little bit more... See if I can highlight a little bit here. So I'm looking right here where the tip of my Q-tip is. So right in this section, those print lines are pretty predominant. I'm trying to show it on stream, but they go from right here to the right, and then right where his nostril is, right across the card. So those ones are a little bit more noticeable when compared to the other PSA 8 version. So that one to me personally makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, so it's always good to know with more predominant print lines that you're kind of looking at that 9 to 8 range. So it's always good to know for sure. And Betty, I appreciate you keeping track. Yeah, I'd say most of these, I didn't know who asked, but I'd say most of these were pack fresh. A lot of these were extremely, extremely clean. So, like, when I was looking at these, I genuinely could not believe it. Will print lines on the new cards affect the grade as well? I guess it just depends on its severity, Rain. We just saw 2 of them. We just saw 2 print lines on both those Dark Dragonites, and both came back as 8s. So, if we're just doing it based off of what we're kind of observing now, there is this possibility that it could have similar impact on the grade. All right, so ooh, nice little swirl right there by the ear. It's almost got like a little earring going on there. That's pretty cool. No, you're good, Betty. No worries. No worries. I know you do some sleepy time when you're back from work, so I appreciate you sticking with me here. All right, so this one. Let's see. So this one was assessed as a 9. So you can kind of see, again, if I can focus here. So this was the scan. So that was the scan of the one we're about to look at. So this was assessed as a 9. So there is the front. So far looking pretty good. Again, it's probably a little bit thicker on that right side as well as the top. So centering might be an issue. And we got a little bit of whitening on that top left and that top right. So, and we do also, and it's kind of interesting, I don't know if this showed up on the scan or not. I feel like I would have seen this, but let me, again, that's why it's kind of nice, honestly, to see if we have these scans prior to us looking at it. And to me, it doesn't look like it. So I'll probably be a little bit easier to show you guys when I actually have it under the microscope, but there is a little bit of a ding there, or almost like a dent, that I feel like I would have not predicted a 9 if I saw that, but we'll look at the scan here. So we'll see. So Dark Raichu, non-hollow. We'll see if it gets the 9. I doubt it. I'll probably get the 8 or 7 or an 8 from that. Yep. So that ended up getting the 8. So not the 9. So now that we have that, Aaron, what's going on? Sorry, I'm kind of like I have to look back and forth. Yeah, all the Team Rocket stuff has just been going up. But let me it's kind of tough because let me see. So I'll show you guys what I was talking about here. And then I'll show you, it's going to be really hard because I'm going to have to show you through my phone, but I feel like I would have, I hope I didn't miss it. It'd be kind of disappointing if I did, but basically what I'm looking at, and I don't know if you guys can see, that's probably the best shot you guys are going to get from a stream perspective, is right here. So right where the tip of my Q-tip is, you can kind of see I'm kind of shimmering it a little bit. There's almost like a little bit of a dent on that corner there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Have you used hot stock? I'm not too sure what that is, to be honest. But yeah, so as I look on my scan, again, it's kind of tough because I'm looking at it at like a 2D plane here, but so this is the initial scan, and I don't see much of anything. So I don't know. That one is kind of an iffy one for me, to be honest. I feel like I honestly have to kind of go back in the VOD and see if I missed that. It's kind of bugged me, to be honest. Because that would be a pretty big miss on my part, to be quite honest with you. But being off by 1, I mean, I guess if anything, that's a good example on, you know, the card itself. There wasn't, I'm just kind of looking at to see if there's any print lines. There's really no print lines even on the Raichu. And the front looks really clean. I really think that little ding, I think, is really what kind of brought it down to that 8. So this would be a really good kind of very small ding example to show off for sure. But let's see. Yeah, who knows? It's like I'm always hesitant to put blame on PSA, to be quite honest with you, because I really don't like to have that mentality. Like, I first want to see and kind of make sure I did my due diligence, you know, but I don't know. I really don't. Yeah, I might. Who knows? Just flatten that out. I got 7 in right now, kind of nervous. Well, I think so far, I think most of them are pretty good. Like I said, I have to kind of do my due diligence and check back the VOD and see if I didn't see it. But, all right. So this one I'm kind of nervous about, to be quite honest with you. Because this one, to be truthful, chat, this one I think was the one that I've had difficulty in the past gauging silvering on Jungle specifically. So this is the first edition Hollow Snorlax, and I'm going back through my notes, and to be quite honest with you, this one is going to be good for me to help me gauge the impact of silvering, because Jungle, Fossil, all those cards have pretty significant silvering issues with their printing. And so the one that I'm looking for is the star next to his ear. So let's see. So that one I assessed as a... So this one I assessed as an 8. So this one is what we're looking at. So that's the one with the little star on his ear. So that's what we're looking at right now. So this one I assessed as an 8. And this one's going to be really good to help me better dictate like the impact of the silvering. And again, silvering is those like silvered edges on some of the more vintage stuff. So we will see. So we'll see if this one actually gets the 8 or not. So that's the front of the Snorlax. And then this is the back. So the only thing on the back that I can see before we kind of look at it is another one that I'm seeing is some print lines on the back of the surface, in addition to 1-2 points of whitening on the corner. So we'll see if it actually gets the 8 or not. So Snorlax Hollow, first edition. See if we get the 8 in 3, 2, 1. So near mint 7. So that is good to know in terms of silvering on the bottom. Is you can't really see it because of the like how PSA has these inlaid, but we do have some of those print lines going across the back as well as on the bottom as well. So I think like in combination of the silvering, because you kind of see, and I'll kind of show a little bit, see if we can kind of see if any scratches on the foil. There's one by the toe there. And where else? That was really it, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, so silvering, and I think those print lines on the back. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, Mike. Jungle and Fossils are very, very tough. That's why like cards like Snorlax, Vaporeon, Dragonite, I think I said Vaporeon, Dragonite, and Lapras was the other one. Very, very tough to get graded as PSA 10 just because of the silvering issues, and how often those blades were replaced, which was practically never. But hey, still a near mint. Got to take it every now and again. So let me, before I go on to the next one, I'm just going to catch up with chat. I haven't really been... Betty's keeping me honest. 4 out of 7. Let's see. I've heard the blades they were used from base set. Yeah, exactly, Mike. That's pretty much what they did, because they didn't care, you know? Like, the demand was so high to print these cards that they just didn't care. You know, kids didn't care. There was no really such thing as grading cards, right? I mean, I knew it existed, but not for Pokemon. All right, next up, the first edition. We got some first edition Jungles here. So this next one is the first edition Hollow Pidgeot from Jungle. So this one was assessed at, let's take a look. So this one was assessed as a, if I can, and that is for no symbol. I have a few other, so like I said, I have all these pictures in kind of this one big clump. So this one was my long shot 10. So this, I think, was the hope for a 10. So to keep honest, I think if I have the hope for 10, We'll see. We'll stay honest. If this gets the 10, that'd be pretty dope. But I have it marked in my notes as the long shot 10. So we'll see what that actually means. So let's see. So the centering looked pretty good on this one. The big one was I didn't see any print lines on the front. On the back, because whitening is always such a kind of hit or miss when it's so mild. Like, I don't know if you guys can see, there's a little bit of whitening on that top right corner. But again, this will be good to judge. And it'd be huge. It'd be cool if it did, but fingers crossed, chat. Will we get the 10 on the Pidgeot? Doubt it, but you can only dream, right, chat? So we're gonna be looking at the first edition Holo Pidgeot. Do we get the 10? Probably not, but 3, 2, 1. Mint 9. We're close. So still Mint 9. That is pretty good for me, all things considered. Is the long distance 10. Because we got to have 3 10s in there now, and every now and again, you know what I mean, chat? Can't just be... We got to have some long bombs every now and again, you know? My friend got cards back from PSA, and some of the 10s definitely thought would be a 9. Yeah, I definitely agree. I kind of like it. There's kind of like that weird wiggle room that I'm still, to this day, I'm trying to really narrow in on. It's really, really tough, to be honest. Like, I'm trying very, very hard, and that's why the more of these submissions that we do and the more that we kind of keep track of, just try to find that special sauce or that secret sauce. But, I mean, the fact that we're not, like, wildly off, you know, we've been off by, like, 1 grade, which is good. There's not, like, anything major. Like, I haven't gotten PSA 3s or PSA 5s for this vintage stuff, so there wasn't, like, anything major that I was missing, which is good. So being 1 off has been pretty good so far. Betty has been keeping me honest. We've gotten half of them right. So we'll see. Mr. Mime, another first ed jungle. So let's take a look at this one. So this one was assessed as which one was this one? So we gotta check the holo pattern. So this one was also assessed as the long shot 10. But I think this one, my notes say that the holo was clean, but there was some whitening on the back. So we're looking at that holo. There wasn't any print lines that I could see on this Mr. Mime. But I think, again, this is a really good example of, you know, when people say, like, oh, how much does whitening affect the grade? So we got, looks like 2 bits of whitening here on that right side, on that bottom right side. So my gut is probably telling me it's probably not going to get the 10, but it was more of like, just submit it and see if we get a grader on a good day. So we'll see. So we'll see if we get the 10. Do we get a good grader? Let's take a look. So first ed, holo, Mr. Mime, jungle, in 3, 2, 1. Mint 9. Close, but no cigar. But still very, very nice. As long as we've only had one go underneath kind of my personal threshold of an 8 or higher for vintage. We've only had the Snorlax get down to a 7. So far so good. I don't think we've gotten any 10s on the vintage yet, which would be incredible. But we don't know if it's going to happen, but you never know. You never know what can happen. We'll put Mr. Mime up there, just chilling in the spotlight there. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. Going through a PSA return. Again, all these cards were processed by me and cleaned. I know my cards that are 9 are almost the same as raw price, but is that not true on vintage? I do not think so, Rusty, because a lot of the things that we're kind of talking about right now, a lot of the print quality was much worse in the Wizards of the Coast era compared to now. So you got to think a lot of these cards have survived, you know, like this Pidgeot, for example. You know, this Pidgeot has survived 25 years, like 1999. 25 years of the moment it was printed to the moment it's in my possession. It survived all that time and still came out as a PSA 9. I think that's really impressive because the print quality, again, was a lot lower back then because we were talked about silvering, meaning that they didn't have really high quality control when like replacing like the blades that were cutting the cardstock. They weren't like replacing them often, so it resulted in dull blades, stuff like that. So yeah, so when compared to modern, that's why modern says, you know, if it's a 9, it's pretty much near mint, because a pack fresh card until TCG Player defines a new condition of mint, near mint will always mean pack fresh from TCG Player's perspective. So that's why people say a 9 equals near mint prices, because there isn't a mint subcategory on TCG Player yet. I think if that happens, that's really not a good thing for the hobby. But that's why people say that. All right, so Vaporeon. This one would be, I don't think I had this assessed as a 10, but Vaporeon is a really, really big card to get graded as a 10. It's a very, very difficult to get graded as a 10. It's probably one of the most expensive 10s alongside Snorlax within Jungle. So this one would be huge. So we are looking for a star between the tail, which is going to be this one. So that one was assessed as a 9. So let's see. We gotta get back on track here, chat. So this one was extremely clean. I think there was just a print line right underneath the ear that I'll pull up on the camera if need be. But I'm hoping this one would get the 9. It'd be really, really nice to have that. Again, and that's why I kind of wanted to submit a lot of these, because the little white specks, I think a lot of these only had probably 1, maybe 2. So and I've seen, again, we've seen it even on stream, we've seen some that have had worse whitening get 10s. So that's why it's kind of nice to kind of play around and figure out what PSA is looking for these days. So the first edition, Vaporeon from Jungle. We predicted the 9. Will we get the 9 in 3, 2, 1? And we did. So PSA 9, first edition, Vaporeon, looking really nice. Very, very difficult card to get graded in Jungle. So that is huge. That is huge, chat. And honestly, for me personally, for my personal collection, I'm always a big fan of collecting 9s. Kind of going back to that initial question that was asked with like vintage being harder, you know, when compared to 9 modern. How there is still a separation of price between like a PSA 8 Vaporeon, PSA 9, PSA 10 from Jungle. And I feel like you get more value for your buck when looking for 9s versus 10s, in my opinion. Because for me personally, you know, if this card survived 25 years and is still recognized as a mint card, that's good enough for me, to be quite honest with you. That's kind of how I feel about it. But you just get so many more for your buck. You know, you can pick up like 2 9s or 3 9s even for the price of 110. So that's kind of how I like to collect if I am collecting graded. But that's just my personal opinion. Obviously, like getting 10s is sick, right? Like that's like the echelon, that's the peak. There's nothing higher than the 10, right? Within PSA, I'm not talking about black labels or anything like that, but that's kind of how I view grading. It's more of just kind of the preservation of these old cards that I grew up with in my childhood. That's kind of what I personally like to collect. And so that's that print line you guys can see that I was mentioning. So here's another kind of print line. It really just depends on how large it is. So this one only goes from maybe like from here to here. So really not much of a print line there, but you know, still getting the 9. You can kind of see that as an example. Just a little bit of there and a little bit of whitening on the back. Ended up getting this Vaporeon as a 9. So, ooh, here we go, chat. So this one was my predicted 10. This Mew EX has exploded in price. So this one was assessed as a 10. I think this was the one that I had the most confidence in getting a 10. Because the centering was really good. I don't think there was any whitening on the corners, if I remember correctly. A little bit there on the top left, but I think it's so small that I don't think... There you go, Poke, using those emotes. If you guys want to use some cool emotes to grade or vote, I think there's some pretty cheap options in the subscription if you want to support me in the channel. Poke repping what he thinks this card is going to get as a 10. I'm hoping the 10 as well, my friend. I'm hoping the 10 as well. But this one is like, man, this one like I had the most confidence in. And if it gets a 10, this one would be pretty big. So let's see. So the Mew EX from Paldean Fates in 3, 2, 1. And we got the 10, boys and girls. We got the 10 on the Mew EX. That is huge. That is big. I just want to get that. Oh, man. 611. Almost at 711. But yeah, really big 10 right there. Again, Mew is going absolutely insane at the moment. I know I say that often. Like, all these cards are going crazy. But Mew EX specifically has been exploding in price. So that is absolutely huge that we got the 10 on that one. I know some folks are happy about that. So yeah, we'll have to put that on the pedestal here. Just the goofy looking Mew. All smug getting the 10. I still regret not picking up a 10 for 500 when I could have. Dude, I'm telling you, I had to. Crip, I've had to reprice and resticker. I have a show this Sunday, and I've been restickering all week, and I've had to throw away most of my sleeves because all of them have been just outdated. Like I have a binder that I only have cards in that are a max of 25, and I'd say I've had to remove about half of them so far, and that was only back in October. So, yeah, it's nuts. Ooh, here we go. Next up, the Shining Steelix. So if you guys, for context, you can actually see my last vendor POV when I was in the Plattsburgh card show. This was one of the cards that I picked up towards the huge trade towards the Umbreon VMAX that I had. So this, along with like 30 other cards, I picked up. And this one, he had 3 copies of this Steelix. And this one, I think, out of the 3 was the biggest one that was the cleanest. And this one, at my notes, was assessed as a 9. So if we could get a 9 on the Shining Steelix, that would be huge for me. So we'll see. So I think this one, just had... Let's see, what was it? I can't even remember, to be honest. And of course, there's some white stuff stuck on the case there that I can't get off, so that's always nice. PSA, come on. You're killing me. So we'll see. We'll see if we get this first edition on the Shining Steelix. Not first edition, limited. I wish it was first edition. That'd be sick. So this one was assessed as a 9. We'll see if we get the 9 in 3, 2, 1. And we did. So this one's a pretty big. This one was a pretty big pickup, for sure. Always a fan of the Shining Steelix. I know this one in particular is kind of the more common ones, I guess, or not as sought after in terms of the Shinings. But still, any Shining from the Neo era is going to, be popular to a degree. And this one's going to be a little bit more affordable too, because that is one thing that you cannot forget about as a vendor, is you can't have every card be super expensive because no one will be able to buy it and you'll have to sit on it for longer, right? So this one is going to be a nice, a little bit more affordable Shining variant from a very old set. And again, the fact that it got the 9 in my book is huge. So super stoked about that one. Yeah, so far so good. Definitely not complaining. Definitely not complaining, that's for sure. All right, we got 2 left. We have 2 left, chat. All right, so this Espeon GX. So let me see what I had this assessed at. I think I had this assessed as a possible 10. Not as confident in this one as I was in the Mew because of this right edge. If I remember, I'm just looking back at my notes. So the Espeon GX, let's see. I had this assessed as a long shot 10, but I still was hoping to get the 10. So we'll stick with that. We'll stick with that assessment. So it'd be nice if we got the 10, but my gut and based off of my notes, I was worried about that right centering. Because again, what I was talking about with like that kind of inside border within the border, I've gotten a lot of cards back in the past that hasn't mattered because the corners on this were extremely clean. There was no whitening on any of the 4 corners on the back. The centering was actually really good on the front. So I think that was the only thing that I could think of when I was looking at this card. So we'll see. We'll see for the Espeon GX Secret from Sun and Moon Base. Will we get the 10 in 3, 2, 1? And we don't. So we got the Mint 9. But still a pretty good, great attempt for sure. You know, at the end of the day, evolutions are always going to be popular. That's one thing that I try to pick up as many copies of as I can, right? Of any evolution, if they're come across my table, I'm always trying to pick them up. So that one is going to be a good, because it's just shy, right? So we're kind of even getting out of very soon. Very soon we are going to be into a new era, right? So I kind of see Modern as being the last 3 generations. So Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, and Scarlet and Violet. So soon, you know, Sun and Moon is going to kind of show its age a little bit. You know, 2017, we're almost, you know, it's 8 years ago this card was printed. So we're getting there. We're getting there, and it's already crazy that we're almost at the 30-year anniversary, which is nuts. Which is absolutely nuts. So, all right, chat. Last but certainly not least, we have the Pokemon Center Snorlax. And so I'm trying to remember if there was anything wrong with this bad boy. And I think I assessed this as, let me check my notes. This one was assessed as a 9 with a little asterisk of, boy, it would be nice if it was a 10. So and I'm seeing something on the case, weirdly enough. I don't know what that's about, but it's not damaging the card, so I think this one was assessed as a 9 because of the centering on the back, as well as some whitening on the top left there. In addition to some, like a silver etch on that bottom right corner. I doubt you guys can see it, but yeah, so this one was assessed as a 9. Like Betty said, can we get at least the 50% accuracy? We'll see. So 151 Pokemon Center ETB. Does it get the 9? In 3, 2, 1. And it does. So no 10. That was kind of the long shot. But I was more predicting the 9 than anything. But it was like, it'd be nice. So I think the reason I still submitted this, was, you know, I wanted to see if there is going to be a shot at a 10 just from the grader's perspective. I didn't personally think it would, but sometimes you gotta kind of roll the dice a little bit. But second, I think with Pokemon Center cards specifically, they're a bit tougher in my experience to sell raw, just because there's kind of like a niche of the stamp. So it kind of adds a little bit of a premium to it to a degree that not a lot of people, from my experience in the shows that I've been to, necessarily want in a raw form. So having it just kind of graded, like if they have any other graded copies or whatnot, is kind of a nice way to go there. So without the long shots. Well, that's good. 11 out of 14 without the long shots. Yeah, I hear you, Phoenix. I'll trust me. I'm right there with you. I still feel old. I've been loving playing I've been playing Halo recently, like Halo 2, Halo 3 on Master Chief Collection. Oh. Still That is definitely my speed, for sure. All right, so that was a pretty big return, to be honest, chat. So let's do a little bit of a review. So we got back the Snorlax PSA 9, the Pokemon Center. The PSA 10, this one was probably one of the few highlights for me personally of the night. That this one was more of like my solid guess as a 10. This one was really huge. Espeon GX coming back as a 9. Thought that was going to get the 10, but I think the edge, the centering on that right side was what was kind of holding me back. Shining Steelix predicted 9, got the 9, which was great. The Vaporeon had a little bit of a print line over the ear. This one was assessed as a 9, came back as a 9. That was a really big pickup there. This one, I think the Mr. Mime and the Pidgeot were long distance 10s, I believe, but both came back as 9s. So the first ed, Mr. Mime as a 9, and first ed Pidgeot as a 9. Still really big. This Snorlax was more of a helping me better understand silvering. So this one was predicted as an 8, came back as a 7, so it was the only 7 of the group. The really crazy swirl on that Dark Raichu, so this one was assessed as a 9 and came back as an 8. This one was one of the 2 Dark Dragonites that we had for tonight. This one had more predominant print lines across the top right. This one was assessed as an 8, came back as an 8. And this one was kind of the same thing, a little bit less print lines, not as aggressive as the previous Dragonite. So this one was assessed actually as a 9, but came back as the 8. This one, this Dark Raichu, the second one, was assessed as a 9, came back as the 9. Dark Blastoise, this was assessed as an 8 because of a video that I had to rewatch that we actually made a video on this card specifically going through the cleaning process. That came back as an 8. And then finally, the Hollow Dark Hypno, assessed as a 9 and came back as the 9. So yeah, that was a pretty big submission, chat. That was a pretty big submission. So super stoked. So I guess as an update, what is new? So I have a sub-only giveaway going on that ends on Thursday. So if you're a subscriber over on Discord, definitely make sure to enter that. That is going to put you in to win a mystery box. So if you guys have never seen these before, these are custom mystery boxes that I've made in the past. Has a bunch of cool packs in it. Has some 151 Obsidian Flames. Some have celebrations in them. And some cool stuff. So if you're a subscriber over on Discord, that giveaway is active now. What else? I have a show coming up this Sunday in the Albany Capital District. So super stoked for that. That's why I actually have to, once the stream is done, I have to price all the new cards I just got, as well as update all the prices. So, like, for example, chat, so if you want to kind of see a sneak peek, so here are some of the cards I actually had to reprice. So all these used to be, it's crazy, all these used to be in my under $25 bin. This was back in October, and these are some of the prices that I literally just updated like within the last week. And it's pretty crazy, to be honest, of how much all of these have just been going up. So all these used to be, before, they used to be lower than 25. But now we got like 35, 30, like just stuff is just slowly rising in price. And it's pretty wild, to say the least. Like all these I've had to start re-upping. Like the Glaceon V-Stars. This I think was at 17 when it was in my binder before. And again, all these were priced back in I had to update them when they were priced in October. And this one was nuts. This Persian jumping up to 70, which was crazy. These Umbreons, a lot of people, I mean, Umbreon is Umbreon. The Suicunes. To be honest, like, I'm not the biggest fan of this art style, but those cards have been going up pretty crazy. Charmeleon finally seeing some love. Got the middle evolutions, another Pokemon Center. That one wasn't worth grading. I think I assessed that as an 8. That's why I kind of have it raw. But the Mew EX promos, guys. The Mew EX promos have been going up there. How much for Ash's Pikachu? That one was... Because these are all cards I'm just kind of going over. None are actually on like active on my online store yet. I literally just got done repricing these yesterday. But for MP was 30. And then card is 33. Because I have all these on my... Well, not all of them, but I have most that get processed on my online store. Because I don't do... Because a lot of the pain points that I've seen with people do that have like claim bags or whatever, and you have people not following through, so... But... Finish Fable. Oh, like Fable from the Xbox? Oh, yeah, dude. That few new promos should have never opened. Well, I don't know, man. Why not? You see what I ran into at my last card show? No, I didn't, Phoenix. What did you run into? The Dust Noir, Dragonair, Charizard going crazy. Yeah, it's nuts, chat. Like, I'll even... I mean, we're kind of in, like, the last stages. I'll kind of show you guys... Like, so what I'm about to show you, just as a fun test here. So all of these cards right here, I just pulled these out of my binder. Again, all of what you're about to see price-wise, these were all updated back in October. And so some of these prices are probably even going to be, like, severely outdated, to be honest with you. So these were prices back in October, a little time capsule here. Which was nuts. Like the Arbok was like 10. I think that's gone up a little bit. These are all like vintage stuff. This Gengar was really cool. I actually I found this in a bulk box like a year ago. Oh, that's right. That's right. The $2 from Shrouded. Yeah. Like I have $1, $2, $3 binders, but they're not like, you know what I mean? They're not just reverse rares. They're actually of like pretty good quality. But it's just crazy, like how much prices have just been going all over the place. It's insane. I'm picking up Dessert Eevee in case I can't pick it up in English. Yeah, definitely. I would. Just with like how crazy the evolutions are always getting, like I definitely would. If it were me, I definitely would. But yeah, like all of these, man, are just like, I just know. Like the Swablu was only 5 back in October. Like a lot of these are just super outdated now. Like it's just insane. Like the Lilligant, Superior was only 5. Like I know most of like the vintage stuff. That's honestly like if you guys are trying to look for like better prices for stuff, I think vintage right now is like severely underrated in terms of price. It's pretty nuts, to be quite honest with you. Like a lot of, because everyone's just all after like the modern and kind of looking at that. So if you're a vintage collector, you are eating currently. The Mimikyu. Which one was that? Hold on. The Mimikyu. Let's see. The, where the hell is it? I know, I literally just saw it. That one. The big boy. Can you keep an eye out for Umbreon? I think, Apple, you should see if you have access. I think you should. I think you're at least level 5 now. If you go to the Radar channel, in Grade Review, or not in Grade Review, in the Discord, any card that you want me to keep an eye out for, just post it in there, because then I'll notify you if I find it. But yeah, like what Betty said, Betty takes advantage of that all the time. So I'm always on the hunt and looking out for you guys too. So if there's any cards that you're trying to look for when I'm at these shows. But yeah, so I don't know. Are you Phoenix? Are you still in here? Because I'll show you, like just for context. Because I don't even update this anymore. Because anytime I put a card, I'll have to check. I thought I had it. I thought you were level 5. I might be wrong. But, like, I can't... Hold on. I'm just trying to see. But, like, here is an example of, like, I don't know if I'll be able to show this fully on stream, but this is my $2 binder. So, basically, I just put stuff in here that I think is cool that, you know, that pretty much anyone can afford. I don't know how well this is going to work because, again, this binder is huge, but... Like, I got, like, all this stuff just chilling for $2 a piece. Oh, I got to go around, like, 50 different lights here. So do people send you cards to pre-grade, or do you just do personal? All the above, Big. So what I just went through now was some stuff sent to me, mixed with some of my personal stuff. But I've done some cleanings from folks. I have done I do grade reviews every Wednesday for folks. I'll do it online. So like here's some more stuff that's only like $2, dude. Like some some GX stuff. I almost said vintage because I was just talking about it. Some GX stuff from Sun and Moon. We got some shinies up in here. Like all this stuff was like $2 a piece. And it's like when you say reverse rares for $2, and I just look at my own binder, I'm like, that's awful. That's like highway robbery. So it's like, man. And it's funny too, because like I'll have vendors and stuff that will come up and like almost buy me out. And then I'll go around and see like an hour later they jacked up all the stuff that they bought off me for $2. They'll try to sell it for $5 and it just sits there. So, or like people that sell the Halloween booster packs for like $1 a piece. I always just give those to kids, man. That's like a big pet peeve of mine, by the way, chat. If you ever see someone selling Halloween like trick-or-trade booster packs at a show, that's such a pet peeve of mine. I don't know why. I just don't like it. Yes, the trick-or-trade packs. I just do not like when people sell those at card shows. It's like they're literally meant to be given away and they're super cheap. Like, why are you trying to sell them for, even if you try to sell them for $1, like, why? I always give them away. I always give them away to kids. It's like, what are you doing, dude? I don't know. Yeah, I feel like you'd make out like a bandit, Betty, if you're looking for trainers. Someone was selling them for $2 a piece? Dude, that's insane. It's so stupid. I think it's so dumb. I think it's so dumb. Someone's trying to sell them for $5? Brother. That is insane. What's your fave out of my personal collection? My personal collection, I literally, guys, I'm so bad. I have to, Betty and Apple, you guys might have to, like, hold me accountable here soon. I gotta do that 1K, PC reveal and Q&A that I had. Because I have all the submissions and I have all the questions. I just have not had a chance to go through it. But I'd say for my personal collection, without giving too much away, because I want to do that video, I'd say I have like a full dex of the 151 graded as 9 or better. But I'd say, like, for me personally, I really love I know it's kind of basic, but it's like a birthday Pikachu. Because as a kid, I always wanted one, but never had a chance to because I lived really far away at the time from a Toys R Us when they did the Pokemon League tournaments, and I was never able to participate or try to win one. So that card definitely has a special place in my heart for nostalgic purposes, but that one's probably my answer. The OG one. The OG, not the celebrations. But because then I don't know if you've been here before, Rub, but I have, like, when I do my live streams and I have my camera, my webcam on for my face, I have a whole wall of my actual childhood collection. So that one has a lot of meaning to me too, to be quite honest. More so than my graded stuff, weirdly enough, because I don't know why and how, but I was fortunate enough not to have my childhood collection given away or stolen or lost or anything like that. I was very fortunate. Did you do cleaning for that yet? I started to. I got like halfway through, and then I never got back to it. So yeah, I'd say my personal cards as a child, for sure is still my like prized possession. But no, I'm right there with you, Betty. I'm pretty much right behind you, to be honest with you, because I have a lot of pricing to do. I have a lot of stuff to do for the Sunday show. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Have a good night, Betty and chat. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, looking at the really good submission. If you guys are new here, definitely make sure to follow. I'm going to be streaming on Wednesday, doing a grade review stream. As always, episode 54. So this is the 54th time we'll be doing it. I'm right there with you, Phoenix. I gotta do the same thing. I gotta price and sticker. Like, I hate it, but I gotta do it. But yeah, I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me, and looking at some cool cards and talking shop. Oh, thank you so much, Apple. I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate that. And let me know if you have any issues, and make sure to submit into that giveaway, because there is a subscriber giveaway going on over on the Discord. So make sure to submit for that. It should be posted in the VIP channel, in the VIP chat. But my binder's empty for the last 2 weeks. Dude, I feel you. I just have to sell stuff. I've been like, last year I was such in like a buy mode because my inventory wasn't in a spot that I wanted it to be. But I'm very fortunate that I feel like it's a pretty hefty inventory now, so I just have to start selling stuff because my cash to buy collections is dwindling. So I gotta buy it, but I love it. I love the ebbs and flows. It makes it fun, makes it interesting. So I definitely can't complain. But guys, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate each and every one of you for always hanging out with me. And I will catch you guys on Wednesday for episode 54 of Grade Review, starting at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So until I see you guys then, have a great